You afraid somebody's going to poison me or something?
Hey, you never know, Coach.
You never know.
Gotta be careful.
You're exactly right.
That's it. Whenever you're ready.
All right. Going back, reviewing the game, extremely proud of our team. Thought they played extremely hard, extremely physical, did things they had to do to win the game in all three phases of what we had to do. Still got work to do by far, nowhere close to perfect in anywhere we are. But I love the competitiveness, love the togetherness, love the guys pulling together. I mean, coming off a tough week, coming off a tough loss, guys bonded together, blocked out noise, went and played, had distraction before the game, blocked that out, had injuries during the game. Young guys stepped up and played critical minutes and made big plays and did really good things on both sides of the ball in different places, and played a very good play. A top 15 ranked team, played very well. And at the same time, have not played close to where we're capable of playing and what we can do, and got to get better and do the things we have to do in all three phases. I mean, offensively, got to continue to get better, move the ball well coming out of the gate. Had a great drive coming down, which could have held that ball and could have scored that first one. Had a chance to score right off the bat and got the field goal, but then come back, got a sack and got stopped, and then got a turnover and converted really well. Then come back with a great 9-10 play drive and got stalled on the 40. Missed a block. One time got a negative play, and could have hit the next route. Route could have broke off, and we could have had it and got some points out of that and kept that drive alive, but we still moved the ball, pinned them. And then our punter, again, did a great job of hitting, I think, hit one of his punts back in there. Come out second half, excellent. Almost had a drive in 2 minutes before the half. Then come out second half, excellent, scored right off the bat, then had a great 9-play drive, or the 8-play drive right there, 7-play drive, whatever it was right there. Got down to the 40 and did the same thing, missed an opportunity on 3rd and 2 that we were going to try to go 4 downs probably on, and missed one, and then got the ball back with 8 minutes to go in the game. And then got a run for 3, had a throw, and then we had a 3rd down throw we should have made. And that was it. Game was over, and we milked it out. But defense played well. I did a great job physically. Again, they kept the ball in the second half. Had a 16-play drive and a 12-play drive. We didn't get it back much on offense, and we got to get off the field. Had some 3rd and longs that we got to get off the field and should have got off the field on. Had a critical penalty one time. We had them stopped back there in the first half when they were inside the 10. And got our second targeting, I think it was Damani's, unfortunately, that we could have had good field position, maybe got some punts. But the guys just kept fighting. No matter what the circumstances were, went to the next play. I thought our special teams, although our punter was magnificent, thought he hit the ball well, hit it high, was allowed to be covered. Our cover teams got down the field, took shots on guys as far as tackles, made the plays. A ball hit the ground, we got on it, got it converted, which was critical in the game. The only turnover in the game, which became very critical. I thought Chain did a great job. People don't realize, they're talking about him on offense. He was magnificent on offense, catching and running. But he was a guy down there down those punts inside the 10 and got blocked out of bounds one time, and got out of bounds and fish hooked and came all the way back and got that ball on the 1. Just his ability to do many different things in that regard. Field goal kicker did a great job. Caden kicked off extremely well. Bond hit his field goal. Caden's kickoffs were really good. Kickoff return had one really good one. He come out second when we missed a block, had a chance. Punt returns, we got to keep working on those, but had a very solid special teams game and the things we did, and we had a muff at the end. Critically, we got that ball back and got a fair catch that ball right there and do that. But guys played hard, man, fought hard, did the things they had to do, and like I say, we're a long way from being perfect. Got a lot to get better on offense, got to get better on defense, got to get better in special teams, continue to run the ball. Thought the offensive line got better in the game, played more physical up front at times, moved people, create some great running lanes. Our running game got better, give a chain some time to go. Got to clean up some pass blocking, and we got to clean up our routes and stuff in our passing game and get the ball down the field a little more. But I was very proud of how we competed in the game, and now we get ready to go, move on, and get ready for SEC play. Questions?
We'll start down front. We'll just go Cole, Travis, Cole, Brent, Travis.
Jimbo, you kind of mentioned this, but Devon had his first 100-yard total scrimmage game. When you see a player like that who adds so much element to the game, especially when it comes to passing and when it comes to running, how does that expand the offense?
Well, it does, because your mismatches. You're trying to find mismatches, whether you're getting him out of the backfield, whether you're swinging him, whether you line him up outside, whether you hand it to him, or how do you get him to the edge or inside. And you got to give him touches. Some of the like the great backs I've been able to have in my past, that guys that you got to let them touch it. When they touch it, great things happen, and we got to do the things in front of them well. And in this game, we did a much better job. Our line moving people were up front when we displaced guys and created seams, and then allowed him to go, and he caught some nice balls out of the backfield. Max got him the ball a couple times critical, and almost one other time their guy got him one-on-one and caught him out there one time where he had the ball down the sideline. But, he can catch the ball, and he's very diverse, and he does a great job.
And then the 4 players who were unfortunately suspended for the game, will they be active for this upcoming week?
Yes, they will.
Go right next, Brent.
What did you see in Randy Bond where you said he's ready to take over that job?
Honestly, I've seen it all camp. I mean, like I said, all camp. He and Caden had had a dogfight all camp. I mean, he'd been kicking the ball extremely well. Like I said, I've said this before. I kept talking about him in here, and everybody just assumed it was Caden, and Caden was killing it and doing well. And then Caden missed a couple here, so that's let him get his bearings back. And Bond kept in practice last week was tremendous. Kicked the ball. I think he had one missed kick the whole week, and I thought he deserved the opportunity. Went out and did a great job. And then Caden did a great job coming back, kicking off. I mean, his kickoffs were phenomenal.
I know you had known Brad Johnson for a long time. Probably saw Max when he was a little kid, I would guess.
Yep, I've known him since about 90.
How did you go about adding him to the roster last year?
No, it was after they got after he got into the portal and called and asked if we'd be interested. I said, yeah, I want to check with our recruits and what's going on and how the guys we had, how we added, how they felt, and things that went on. And I always loved him out of high school, recruited him out of high school, and they contacted us and asked if we'd be interested. And then that went on for a while, and then we discussed, and they ended up coming. And very happy he did. Great
All right,
family.
Travis.
Great family.
Coach, when you look back at the film, what was it about Max's game that you liked, and would you like to see more
Well,
of?
first of all, he took care of the football. I think he got the ball out. I took a couple sacks, but a couple of them, that's where it was. There wasn't nowhere to throw it away. Sometimes you're attacking the middle of the field. There's no throwaways. Sometimes if guys are taken away, thought he had a couple nice pulls and runs. Had another chance to pull one really good. It could have really helped us one time that I wish he would have. He'll get to that. But I think he managed the game. The big game wasn't too big. Made good third down throws. Led us, had good poise, understood the information getting back on the sideline was what was happening in the game, and I played a very solid game. So hopefully we can grow around him. He can continue to grow, and we can grow around him and keep playing better because there's still some plays out there that he really was making that we got to do a little better around him. We could have really made some plays that had nothing on some routes and different things that got to go on. And then, there's a throw or two, which he had, but I hate to say that every game. There's always going to be one or two, but wish he could have, hit one or two more, and then we've been good. But he's developing. I love his attitude and demeanor.
And as the offensive line continues to grow, his ability to move around in the pocket and sense pressured, is that one of the assets that helps?
Well, yeah,
helps
I
y'all?
think it does. And he has size and he has presence. And like I say, everybody assumed just one's a pocket passer, one's a runner. Both a little bit of each. I mean, Max is a good athlete. You saw him pull last night and scramble a couple times, make some nice runs. He's a good athlete, big, strong, athletic guy.
Front left, Zach, and then Olin.
Jimbo, only one sack. You guys have recorded in the last two games. A lot of three-man fronts you like to play on defense. Is that just a trade-off that you've got to have? That if you've got
sometimes you do. And then, by game, depending on what the game plan you're going against. I mean, you can say that, but also, listen, you get coverage sacks, you get things. You got to get off the field on third down conversions. And look, one of the things that when you get to numbers of 8 dropping, that causes problems. And you got 3, then sometimes later on you may bring 5 or 4. But, I mean, that's all based off game plan and what we think we have to do based off their receivers and what happens.
Second row, Olin.
Yeah, Jimbo, if I could ask a couple of things. First of all, Arkansas's had some trouble in pass defense. What do y'all have to do to be able to maybe take advantage of that?
Execute. I'm not being. I mean, but seriously, give good protection. Run the routes the way they're supposed to be running, making throws. And I know this sounds crazy. We're a lot closer than it seems in some things. We're getting it, and you just got to keep progressing. You just got to keep progressing.
And
But we got to be balanced. They do a good job up front of rushing and blitzing, and you have to have balance against them. They do a really good job on defense.
what kind of impact do you see from Drew Sanders, and is that somebody that you ever considered trying to get him to come here as a transfer?
No, I mean, we tried to recruit the heck out of Drew. Drew was a great player out of same school as some of the guys we're recruiting now up in Denton Ryan, and he was a great school. I mean, great player. We tried to recruit him, went to Alabama, and in the transfer portal, I mean, he got in it. I think he reached out, but at that time we were way over. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not a guy. I don't take guys. I know a lot of people may do this. I don't say you take them and then figure out and run guy. I ain't a run a guy off guy. I don't believe in that. I never have, never will. And Drew Sanders, if he'd transferred here, I'd love to have had him. I think he's a phenomenal player. I think that guy, you can watch that guy play. He can rush a passer, he can play backer, he can run. He's a special teams guy. Guy's a heck of a player. But, you know, your numbers and the guys you got, you know, you're loyal to the guys you have and the people you recruited. So if numbers are there and available, yeah, I'd love to have had him. I mean, no doubt. But
Coach, we'll go back behind the lights on the left, Tyler.
Yes, sir.
Sam Pittman seems to have kind of turned that program around. Just what challenges facing this Arkansas team?
Well, I think, first of all, Sam does a great job coaching. They have a veteran offensive line. They've got 4 returning stars on the offensive line. They got a veteran quarterback. Backs have played. Receivers, even though I haven't been there, there's a lot of transfer guys in. They still played a lot of football. Played a lot of football at different schools they had, been very productive. Defensively, they're extremely well. Like you say, Drew Sanders, Bumper Pool. It seems like this might be his 6th year. I think maybe it is. It seems like he's been there forever, and he's a really good player. Up front, they're very good. I know McLaughlin, I remember him, the corner. He was from Houston, from this area. When he came out, went to LSU, and I think he transferred up there. He played really good against us last year. Their safeties, their scheme on defense, 4 down, 3 down, different blitzes, things they do, very dynamic. And what they do, special teams are really good too. Their kicker can kick the heck out of it. Punter's a very solid punter. Got good. They hit, what sparked him last week, if I'm not mistaken, was a 72-yard punt return. They put him back in the game and took ahead and got him back in that game, got the lead, and then they popped another run at the end. So special teams, like I say, their defense core, their special teams guy played college football with me, so I know him. I mean, I know him really well. And Scott Fountain, he does a really good job with their special teams. So they're sound in all 3 phases, well coached, and they got a veteran team. They're an older team. I mean, those guys have been around a long time, and I say that makes a difference, man. That makes a difference, and they're talented and they're schooled and well coached.
Right side on the 5th row, Ben.
Coach, just to follow up on the kicking situation, do you foresee if you guys are kicking a field goal, Randy's going to be the guy, or is there situations if it is extra long range, Caden could come in?
Right now, Randy's our guy right now.
Okay,
But Caden can kick. I mean, if there's something there we needed him for, and he's going to keep battling, and however that goes. I mean, like I say, jobs, you got to keep kicking every week. You got to keep throwing every week. Got to keep catching every week. Got to keep blocking, tackling. You know, however that could go. That's always an open competition.
But you don't foresee a situation where, like, a certain range, if it's a long
Oh,
range.
yeah, possibly. Yeah, I mean, if you need a long one, yes, with Caden, because Caden does have more range. There's definitely, I mean, he had to go in and hit a long one like that or something like that, yes, without a doubt. I have all the confidence in the world in him to do that.
Left side, Rob.
Howdy, Coach.
Howdy.
So a lot of fan bases after a tough loss wouldn't have shown up, but the 12th man was there, 3rd largest crowd in A&M history. Place was electric. He had lots of recruits. Can you talk about how important the 12th
That's why they're loyal to the school and what we do. They're not fans. They're really not fans. They're family. There's a difference. 12th man's family. Fans come and go. Family sticks with you no matter what goes on, the good times, the bad times, anything else that happens. And that's what the 12th man's about, and that's what our fans are about. And that's what I love them, and I thank them for it. Thank them for their support. Really do.
Down front, Cole, and then Brent.
Jim, I'm not sure if I asked you this last year, but with the way that the Southwest Classic is played in Arlington, do you like that the matchup's there, or do you want, because of how much goes into this rivalry, for it to be a home-v-home matchup?
You know, I love the home and home. I mean, hate not saying here, but at the same time, I don't mind playing it. I really don't. I think it's good for our guys to get a neutral site game. It's something different. A lot of them in this state dream of playing in that stadium. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of them want to play state championship games and have played state championship games there. I mean, this year, I wish it was here. Next year, I wish it was in Arlington. If we can get that arranged, I'm all for it. You know what I mean? I'm all for it. But, I mean, you know, there's you hate to give up a home game. You hate to go on the road. But at the same time, they're neat things. I mean, they're kind of, you know, it's just like, I guess, Florida, Georgia, and Jacksonville. You know what I'm saying? They're trying to do that. I mean, there's still, I'm nostalgic. This isn't as storied as some of those are, but it is history and some good things. But I guess we're breaking it up anyway. So, I mean, I'm happy to play where we're at, and we'll play when we got to go to Arkansas. We'll go to Arkansas.
Go to the left, Cease, and then Brent.
Curious in the offensive line getting back there. Was Foster at the same shape he was, like, let's say, last year against LSU? And does he have a ways to go? And you're going to keep that same starting offensive
Yeah, I think
line?
we'll keep that same starting group right now. And but Matthew can play center or guard for us, and we're very comfortable with him in the game playing. I think Foster's gotten much better. I think he's grown maturity-wise. I think you do from experience and just knowledge of what's going to happen and why it happens and how to handle your business. And like I say, he's getting into shape. He's in good shape now, but he's got to get in better shape, keep getting back to it. Hopefully he's going to really grow. He can be an outstanding player.
And I said you consulted the team leaders, brought them in for the suspension. I'm just wondering, when you started out to be a coach, did you go with team leaders? Was there ever a time that you just make the decision, or has that changed
I've
at
always
all?
had a leadership group because I think it's important because of the relationship and the communication between players and coaches. They got to understand, and you tell them, well, we're all in this together. Well, then you go make all the decisions. Well, where's my input? But then you got to explain, and also helping them grow as individuals and be leaders and understanding when you're in a position of power, how you can't think of yourself as a teammate. You got to think of yourself as a leader of that team. That's a difference for them too, and the perspective that how one guy, you know, that may be your buddy. Do you want to take it easy on him? How does that affect somebody else? If it was something, I mean, I think helps them grow and understand the whole perception of what we do as coaches. I think there's a fine line of understanding there. Once you get in a leadership council, you know, as a player, the coaches are always crazy. Fans, coaches are, I mean, then once you get to be a coach, well, now the players are crazy. I mean, some of them guys now, they're hired for me, that used to work for me or used to play here. Coach, I get it now, and I see why you're on my tail sometimes. But they understand it's not personal. What I'm saying is you got to try to see things through each other. You never know a man until you look through his eyes. Look through his eyes. You never know a coach till you look through his eyes to a player, and a player how he looks at a coach. I think that open line of communication, understanding why you do and don't do things, and things that are acceptable and not, have to be communicated and articulated back and forth. And I think that's very important for them and the growth of your organization and team.
Row right, Brent.
I don't know if that's the answer you wanted, but that's.
We had a really good visit with Albert Regis earlier. Is it all the more impressive what he's doing in terms of deflecting passes, blocking kicks? The fact that he's not the tallest guy on the line either, but just the fact that he's doing it.
He's explosive, and that's what we saw in high school. Yeah, remember, he was a running back, tight end. He ran and played offensive skill positions and was explosive and really good and was dynamic with the ball. And our biggest concern in recruiting, he was about 260, 65 pounds. Would he ever grow? Did he have the frame to grow? And all of a sudden he blew up, man, and kept that athleticism and size. And, I mean, it's special. He's I'm telling you what he is, a very intelligent guy, very conscientious guy, very intelligent guy, very explosive, athletic. And listen, maybe not long, but that explosion to create the penetration, you can be long all you want, but if you're long 4 feet back, and I'd rather be short 4 feet up, you know what I'm saying, because of the angles it takes away. And that's what it is. He's powerful, man. He plays with great leverage and power, and that's where it comes from. And he got it. I'm gonna tell you this: blocking kicks, some of the best kick block. I've been on teams with guys that are 4'2", 4'3", 4'4" that can come off the edge and run by a kick. I mean, had them kick it under and miss them, and guys that are 4'6", 4'7" can time it up and block it every time and get there. There's an instinct and a knack to block kicks that's just not about ability, and that's the good thing I love about Albert. And I think him, if you ever watched him in high school, he was a great defensive player, but he was a really good offensive player and with the ball. So I think his understanding and feel for the game, I think there's a naturalness to it that allows that to happen too.
Back behind the lights on the right, Justin.
Jimbo, I think you call it the gray area, right? You get to the 40-yard line in there, and that's where you guys stalled out last week.
Twice. Significantly. Yeah, I mean, and had it right there, missed a run, and messed around both times. But then he had passes we could have cleaned it up with too. Just got to execute right there.
I was going to say, is it just execution?
It is, and plays are there. And I mean, we just got to execute and what we call, make sure, and had a flow. But had one really good. Both of them were like 8, 9 play drives and going. We just got to finish, and I guess that's part of our growth. And learning to take 10, 12, 14 play drives. That's a maturity too. Young players, a concentration level, execution level. You know, you say, well, I want to go do that. Well, taking those long drives, there's work to that too. You know what I'm saying? And that's something we got to continually enhance on and work on, and we do that in practice. Like it says, you know, we script 4 play blocks. We may script 6 or 8 play blocks before they let them come off the field. Even making them grind more in practice, focus more in practice, things like that make you stay on the field longer. You know what I mean? Because in offense, you know, you're rotating so much, and we've even changed that part. You know, you always do that. Things like that are things we do to try to enhance that.
And KJ Jefferson, coach, Arkansas's quarterback, what
dynamic, arm, legs, strong. That's the other thing. Big, strong, athletic, design quarterback runs, enough scrambles in what he does. He's got maturity, he can get the ball down the field. Big receivers that can run. I know Warren Thompson's the guy we recruited at Florida State when I was leaving big time. I mean, Hazelwood, I remember him out of high school. And I can't, the other big guy, the guy that just came in from Toledo was at Georgia, was out of Tampa, can really fly. And I apologize for missing his name right now, but I mean, can run and play. And the tight ends are dynamic, the backs are good. I mean, but he makes it go. Jefferson makes it go, man. He's one of the best in the business.
Front left Zach, and then to the back, Tyler, you wrap us up.
Jim, I was going to ask you about KJ. Justin took that one from me, but I'll ask you about Arkansas's defense. As far as their secondary, you look at the numbers, they have given up a lot of passing yards this year, but is that deceptive because of the athleticism that they have? Well,
I think it's deceptive, and I think it's part of they've been ahead in games. So you force the other teams to throw the ball a lot. You know what I mean? They're behind. So I think that's part of it too. When you've gotten leads, gotten ahead of people, so people are going to throw the ball more, and you may not be in sometimes in aggressive mode as you're normally in to try to eat clock and do things. So I think numbers can be really good, or if you understand, and sometimes they can be skewed or deceiving too. I mean, they're athletic in the secondary, can make plays all over, and they've got a good team.
Back behind the lines to the left, Tyler, you wrap us up.
You started the year 3 straight weeks at home. So what kind of challenges as you enter this part of the season where you're not going to be back here for another month and you're starting conference play?
Yeah, well, I mean, again, going on the road in this league is tough. Going on the road anywhere is tough. I mean, communication levels, execution levels, hearing, you're making your signals on defense, getting your calls. Offense, you're getting your calls. Defense is actually better because you're quiet when the offense is on the field. For us, on offense now, it's just vice versa. Loud noise, counts, snap counts, cadence, communications, all those types of things. You got to really work on them in practice and be ready for them. And we'll put noise in practice. You do all those things to increase your focus and concentration.
All right, Coach. Thanks for your time.
Thank you, guys.